Hi everyone, I'm Airier, and today we're going to be looking at Total Party Wipe, Episode 3, the 210 Newsport. Do I need to say it that way? Yes. Yes, I do. For reasons. Good reasons, great reasons that I completely made up on the spot, but I find very compelling. So compelling, I won't say them. Because they're that compelling. I do not want to force that upon you, but if I have said a word about what my reasons are, you would have to say, oh, now we gotta do the 210 Newsport in that accent forever. And I will not condemn you to that. You're welcome. This is what happens when you have way too much caffeine before recording. You guys know the deal. Link below, original video, hit it up. We're going to jump right in and, yeah, see where this goes. Unlike the last video where it went, I don't think I could say where it went because I remember what that monster looked like. And, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a tag for it on certain off-brand websites. That happened. That is a thing. Again, links below. Hit them up. And don't Google things in public. And just in general. Let's get started. Ah, yes. The old-fashioned radio intro.
Welcome
Sterling
back,
K.
folks.
Stephen King.
Always,
It's supposed to be Stephen K. I just realized that.
Stephen K. King. That's King by name and King by reputation.
I literally just got that. It's the shout out there.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Olach's Miracle Serum. Guaranteed to cure all that ails you. That's Olach's Miracle.
Treats and cures convulsion, fits, consumption, and bad digestive. Agus, piles, surfeits, vapors from the spleen, pink sickness, distempers, rickets, gout and rheumatism, stone or gravel in the kidneys. How many people have that issue? That this is actually an ad for it. Okay. Colic and discomfort of the bowels, dropsy and scurvy, and many more. Oh, it's a laxative. It's literally just a laxative, isn't it? It's literally just shit juice. Oh my god.
Miracle Serum.
No, much more. It's mercury. Okay, and that's why he's crazy on the picture.
Last we saw our heroes, they had risked life and limb
That works too.
fighting the mighty curb beast.
Yes, choose the image that isn't
Thanks to a little
in need
quick
of censoring.
thinking and plenty of brute force.
From the little guy,
was
yep.
subdued. Let's rejoin our heroes as they hurry to catch the train.
Not the train. I had to say it. Total Party Wipe. 210. Sorry. Toe Town to Newsport.
Newsport. Final call. 026 to Newsport.
Ooh, that guy has a really
Or if
distinct
you
tattoo.
hear this echo about you on the PA system as you all rush forward through the crowds as quickly as you can.
Oh, they've changed how the audio sounds. One, I like it. It's a lot crisper. Also, yeah, that guy's head tattoo is incredibly distinct. Oh, and there's the characters right there in the back shot. I didn't even notice them the first time. Yeah, they've changed the entire arc of how they do people. It's just outlines here, which makes perfect sense. Just kind of curious how they make the first row actually visible. And seriously, I can't get a really cool-ass tattoo. He's going to be a villain later just watching them. He's like, I was in every scene. I was here when you did insert thing here. And it began everything. It'll be him the entire way. That's definitely the ending villain. Calling it now.
And mired by the innumerable bodies.
See?
blocking the way.
This is the ultimate
Barely
villain story.
managed
You
to make
stepped
it
on me.
board At the very last moment, as the train doors close, sort of coming face to face with a almost shocked-looking.
I just want to say, not so much on a train, but going into anything with sliding doors and getting something tied around my neck stuck in it. I would just like to thank everyone for having him pull it out visibly here, because my anxiety seeing that is like, okay, no thanks, I'm just going to die now. You've seen Final Destination, you know what I mean.
Furbolg dressed in
It's Verbolg.
attire of the train
With a
guards
gun.
as the train begins to pull out of the station.
He's surprisingly big, what was it,
Notice
pistol loaded
there's
or
is
front
no
loaded?
longer four of you. Looking out through the glass, you see Aiden left on the platform, just in front of the rest of the crowd.
Smoking's
His
bad for you.
arms
Is he literally just
spread
sucking in
open
the...
a sort
He
of
is.
The fuck expression,
Ha! Fuck you, mage!
and that expression slowly sinks away into the distance as the train pulls out of the station.
They literally
into
just
the,
wrote off a character on a bus.
blazing sun.
They literally put the character on a bus.
The
Or
Furbolg
off
says,
the bus.
Well, hey there, fellas. Can I see your tickets there then?
Yeah, sure, hang on, let me see if I can find it here. I have pockets, don't worry, I have pockets,
Did he have the ticket? Oh my god, I really hope I'm remembering this right and he has the ticket. It's like, hey, remember how he said, suck it, mage? I guess he's getting thrown off the train. Also another nightmare I've had when I've had to use the subway. It's like, okay, do I need a ticket? Do I need a ticket? How do I get in? I don't know how to get in. Ah! Yeah, there's not really a functioning subway where I live, so nerve-wracking. For everyone out there who's been in public transportation and you're just judging me harshly right now, yeah, I'm living down to that. I really am.
I'm gonna start patting my pocket.
So I like how the audio is just,
ticket,
it's definitely crisper
finding it
now.
in my right hand pocket, and I just pull
What the
it
hell
out,
is that?
crumpled and probably illegible at this point, and just fist out, open it. Here you are, my ticket.
He takes
People
it
probably
from
do
you
that.
And
Like, I know it's a joke, but
responds with as he kind of uncrumples it in his hands. Lucky thing you guys made it at all, eh? Too bad about your friend there. He sort of
he was aware of that.
takes the tickets from all of you and
They-
checks them over. Anything to declare there, eh? Any concealed weapons about?
No, they're
I see that
perfectly
you
visible.
there, Mr. Dimforge. You got the Morse Magicae stamp on there?
Yeah.
What about you other fellas? Anything to declare?
Just my 2 bare hands.
Just
You know, I want to say that that joke is old. He's like, do you have any hidden weapons you want to declare? And he's like, my fist! One of these days, I would like to say that's an old joke. That it's not funny. And that I'm not going to do it the second I play anyone who does any form of fisticuffs. Not just fist-mounted combat, fisticuffs. Also, if you're wondering what fist-mounted combat is, I'm just saying it involves someone with enlarged reduce who's playing a small race to start with, and maybe a lot of alcohol, because a lot becomes much more relative when you can reduce yourself. Yup. Just saying, the ultimate question. If you reduce yourself, and you drink the alcohol, and then you enlarge yourself, do you become less drunk, or does the booze get multiplied? The wonders never cease.
just this bow head.
I had a bow the entire time?
To squigums, I'm just gonna rub the bridge of my nose.
Where does he put that?
That's
Oh.
well within regulations there, eh? Not a bunch of damage you
I'm
can do
asking.
here on a train with a bow.
Well, I certainly wouldn't imagine.
Anyway, you're in
I
back
don't want to
down
find
there.
out there's actually a
This
story
here
about
is
someone
the,
doing that in real life. Don't let me
First
know.
class cabins. And he kind of directs you to the left.
Are they just like hanging off the outside?
Before we go, how wide are the seats exactly?
Oh,
Seats.
and coach there, eh? Sort of measures you up.
Oh, they actually get seats.
I'd say you're lucky you got a free seat next to you there, buddy.
Well, I'm more so talking about this weapon, yeah, because I was hoping to put it like horizontal across the the seat. So if I hit the ceiling, if we go over a bump or something, like a step.
I am judging you so hard right now. Like, oh my, I just... He's that guy. I thought he was the good guy because he was trying to help out earlier. No, he's that chaotic evil person who parks in 2 parking spaces, who just lays his giant piece of metal across the seats and takes them all up. It's like, I've got mine. All of you can also give me yours as well. He's that monster. I know what this... Ooh, I'm watching you.
Stab anybody with this on accident,
Accident.
something like that.
Of course.
How often does this happen to you? But that's your first concern.
You'd be
Honestly,
surprised.
in reality, it probably is a
One time I
daily
was in
thing.
Carriage, and we were going along in a bump, and my halberd flipped upward and just hit the driver on the back of the head. We had to walk the rest of the way.
Wonderful.
Good times.
Yeah, try putting it
Well,
under the seat.
We got us a luggage rack above the seats there, buddy.
I'm sure that
Make
won't kill
sure
anyone at
you
all.
Stow it nice and good, though. We don't have any liability insurance there. Yeah,
A train without liability
three of
insurance.
you sort of head
They're either
down,
very
you
confident
pass
or
it
they're
out,
very
you
much
have it,
shady.
with a pair
Ooh.
of Brashkins in there.
Brashkins?
Very tall, wizened, elder-looking man with very gruff sort
He
of
looks like he's about to
aggressive
invade a country
features,
with a bunch of other people on
and,
horseback.
A very shy young girl who seems to be quite the opposite in every
Young?
regard.
Yeah, I was going more
They seem to be discussing
teens.
some esoteric subject, books all scattered about the cabin, which was intended for...
Also, I love how her most distinguishing feature right now is purple. Just the color purple. Because so far, every color is kind of muted. And even the red, I barely even notice it because it's kind of blending in. Everything has that old-timey sepia filter on top. And then you just get this. And there's the shine, the purple, and it's still muted, but it stands out so much. Like, there's none of that crinkling effect on it. I cannot, or if there is, I don't see it. And she's like, yeah, she's important because you can see she has eyes, but they're hidden behind glasses, unlike this guy who's just an old blind man with true sight. Or he's just old and blind. It could go either way. Cataracts are a thing.
6 people.
One of them is very much going to be
Currently,
important,
house 2 is
probably.
entirely full. Seeing this, you
Also,
just pass along your way and sort
Open
of,
bottle of ink
take your
on a
seat
train.
with the rest of the passengers.
Yep.
Now,
Random
we're going to
Frankenstein.
Switch to our newest player.
What?
And her character, Paige.
Oh,
Of course, the Barbarashkin that you gentlemen just passed, that would be Paige with her teacher there. The very gruff, elderly Cyrus Wyverstone.
I was kind of wondering why they were paying attention to one character and then leaving the other behind. It's because when they were probably doing this in an actual campaign, one of the characters dropped out, so he wasn't there. And then she jumped in. Honestly, that makes perfect sense. Or the same person decided they just wanted to play a different character. Could go either way. Hell, my party right now is basically doing that as it is. It's like, we have to get to this place. We're all going to go our separate ways. And in the meantime, we're going to go with the one guy who's sticking to the party, so technically the only person in the party. And we're all going to make side characters to accompany him, who will suddenly disappear and never be seen again, and in no way, shape, or form be co-opted by the DM. I say, having perfect faith, that's a real thing.
He's currently guiding you through a lesson in the Grimoire, one of the ancient artifact books.
Why does it look like a squid with a mustache?
Almirage Academy.
I'm not the only one. Is that a rabbit? Is that a rabbit?
This seems
No. It is literally a rabbit with a horn. I thought for a second it was a freaking cabot, but it's not that far. And also, really cool design. I'd say Hogwarts here, but this is way more. I don't even know what really does big domes with pillars holding it up. Oh, and those are mountains and not clouds. Oh, that's cool. I like the art. Freaking rabbit,
Academy.
man.
We've studied
Jackalope,
most of
that's what it is.
This seems to be like a very practical guide on the
Oh,
applications of
shield?
mage armor
Huh,
versus shield.
mage armor, yeah.
Something he intended to like.
I mean, it makes
quiz you
sense.
on later, but at the moment he seems rather preoccupied with talking down about the people of the Freland. He says, "I simply cannot believe
Oh,
the
God.
amount they confiscated. I mean, really. And
How many weapons did he have?
hide your father's little spectacles there. Ooh, I cannot stand these Frelanders. I bet they just intended to steal it.
The restrictions they put on do seem to be pretty heavy.
It's absurd. It's nonsense about spell limits and preparation restrictions.
What?
Ridiculous. And charms, spells, what outrageous nonsense.
Oh, now that's an interesting thing. I was kind of wondering what the different names he was being attributed to were, or I guess they were being attributed with. I thought it was maybe just a race and I wasn't aware of it, and it very well might be. But it also looks like it's an actual different location in this. I'm going with very unique setting that's being created. So as far as world building goes, I'm actually a really big fan of this because they're introducing it in a way that feels natural and in a way that someone would actually do it if they're taking a 1920s style aesthetic, which is really what this reminds me. Maybe 30s, but it looks a little too rich to be 30s. So maybe 1920s aesthetic. All that needs a flapper dancing a bunch of random songs. Yeah, and it'll fit right in. This definitely has that look. And I just like it because the old teacher who's wise in his ways, but also hates outsiders. He's very much, I'm doing this because I have to for some reason. And I'm going to complain because I'm an old man and I make complaint. Why did I switch to Russian? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because they're right above Mongolia, but yeah, no, it looks completely different. It's the hat. It's definitely the hat in this. Maybe the beard, but honestly, if you take the hat off, he doesn't look nearly... Oh, he looks actually very Russian then. Huh. Funny how that works.
And yet they still let their elected leaders use charismatic tricks to
Seriously?
lead the masses. It's absurd. As maybe
Okay, one, the blob of darkness that is definitely not evil, also known as the DM, and the character who's representing him now wears a top hat and has an overbite that bites its non-existent lip. that it creates by biting it. That is both cool, cute, and terrifying in equal measure. Also, I love that little bit of they just dropped right in there. Yeah, they're not allowed to use charm spells, but also their leaders are allowed to specifically make people listen to them. So are you saying the elected leaders literally mind control people to listen to them and make sure no one else can because it's illegal? I mean, who wants to be mind controlled except by the glorious leader who is using mind control on us, but we will ignore it. Yeah, I mean, that can backfire in any way, shape, or form or imply that this is an incredibly corrupt society. So, yeah, 1920s. It actually perfectly fits with the setting.
Be very obvious to all the players here and the audience as well. This is a very political individual.
Never would have guessed.
And these sort of rants are a very common thing when he's about. So what do you want to do, eh?
Wait, what?
I don't know.
I love this because I'm honestly not sure who this is being told to. The DM is either warning us as the viewer because he's looking right at us, or the player because they had no idea what they were getting into. And this is very much, I mean, it's 1920s. You can see the general one-to-one comparison of prohibition, except it's spells. Honestly, this just kind of makes sense. And seriously, it looks like, why does everything on this spell book look different than it did last time we looked at? Maybe I'm going crazy. Yeah. Now this one, the audio here is just a little quiet, but everything else seems to be at a louder, more even level. But still, I really like this just because I'm not going to talk just at the characters. I'm also going to talk at the people listening, but also at the characters. And you've got to figure out which one it is.
Well, I mean, would you like to keep your head down and study? Would you like to engage him?
Oh.
Keep Matt down seems like a better choice.
Yeah, it does.
No, indeed. As he continues to ramble
The
this way,
teeth on the thing are
for a
creepy.
good 20.
Like they make it
minutes
worse.
or so. And then there's a sudden, he very suddenly cuts off and sort of looks off up into the
What
right
happened?
corner of his
What did he
vision,
feel?
And then looks down to you for a moment. This sudden cut in his speech is more than enough to catch your attention. And he says, "I will be right back, my dear. Stay with the book."
What did you do?
Of course.
And he sort of stands up very abruptly and strides.
I don't even need to see what's happening next to know exactly what's going to happen next. Call me a liar, which I probably am somehow, unintentionally even, but we all know where this is going, right? He dead. He is very dead. I mean, you don't suddenly have an old man who's described as a mentor or a teacher, take your pick, because I already forgot. I have a very shit memory. Who's like, I need to go. I'll be right back. Yep. I'm sure he's not going to have any problems committing life after this episode.
It's out into the hole. You hear his heels sort of impact the floor for a decent
He's going to a
distance,
fight and he did.
as he moves with what seems like some high degree of urgency. He, in fact, passes by you guys in the coach cabin, and he turns to Thor, gives kind of a really nasty sneer on his way past, but doesn't break his stride.
As
Interesting.
he's passing, I'm laying across 2 seats right now, but as he's passing, I'm just gonna flip him off with 2 hands.
No. He's making a very valid point. Not them. No, the old racist asshole. Or I guess not really nationalistic. The nationalistic asshole who's looking at him, sitting across 2 seats in a cramped one. It's like he takes up 2 seats on his own, and he's sitting across even more of them. And I'm just looking at him going, no, you earned that. You completely earned that. Live down to it, which you then did.
Just give him the most pissed face I can muster when he does that.
He does actually, in fact, stop for that. Somehow seeing your highly aggressive face through the helmet. Probably
True
more
sight,
the,
bitches.
double bird that caught his attention.
Good.
But he sort of looks you up and down, and
Is that his
could you
breath
roll
that's seeing me or the
me
window?
Inside.
Inside.
Actually,
okay.
Anybody who would like can roll inside on this.
Also, I
chart.
love how the DM is just
That
appearing
would be
there.
a
Oh, yeah,
5
no, that's nothing.
plus 2.
14.
3.
Fucking Squigums. You see this
How is
gentleman
Squigums always
regard
winning
Thor,
roles?
And then sort of look around the cabin What he
Oh,
seems to be
pretty good
doing
writing.
is like measuring up the amount of space. And unsatisfied, he sort of turns his nose up and continues walking.
Pompous prick.
Oh, no, that's interesting. All I'm saying, though, is we know he does magic because he's described as the teacher of the, well, I guess girl. Looks a bit older, honestly. But the girl who's learning magic, note to say, I believe he has magic. And anytime you see a spellcaster measuring in-game, out-of-game, anywhere, you know what they're thinking. Is this fireball range? Every time. You know it.
Does it look like I can take him?
No.
Insight again?
Oh, no.
Alright.
I'd like to assist with this.
Not one.
Insight with advantage.
15.
Jesus.
Is that with advantage?
Oh.
With advantage. Oh.
That's the second one?
Second roll.
Again, it's...
Oh, yeah,
6.
no.
Okay, 15.
No. Aside from the fact that you're pretty sure he's one of those fancy wizards from up north, he's actually quite big for
A
an old
muscle
man,
wizard.
tall and broad-shouldered. Looks like he probably.
I love muscle
deliver a
wizard
decent
stereotypes.
punch.
It's literally my favorite.
And regardless, it's too late.
Is it good?
because
No. Is it fun?
opens the
Yes.
doors out into the next cabin, closes them behind him, and sort of moves on. And then there's a lot of like sudden whispering and chatter going on between all the various people.
Well, that guy looks a little suspicious, but you know,
Every time I see this guy just sitting like this, it literally triggers rage.
like bump the guy that's near my feet with my foot.
God, he's such
He kind of looks over.
At least he's
like,
aware
very
of it.
aggressively at first, and then kind of, sort of seeing you decked out in full armor, he kind of changes and is like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah, he can kill
especially
you.
those Free the Weave Coalition fellas."
Oh, they're okay. So it is D&D then. I wasn't sure what system they were running. Kind of looked like Fifth, but I wasn't sure.
I'm sorry,
Anyway,
sir.
But the Weave is definitely a D&D concept.
Oh, the Free the Weave Coalition, some protester group against the magic laws. They were the guys that got the spell limit upped.
Oh, they actually.
Yeah, there's been some.
I'm sorry. Did he just say that a protest group in the 1920s setting actually saw success? Sorry, what is weird for me here is normally when any setting in fiction has a protest group fighting against what they believe is an unjust system, there's two ways they go it. Avalanche time. And if you get that reference, good on you. Avalanche Snuggles, man. Avalanche Snuggles. Or we're not actually evil, but we're kind of a terrorist organization. There's really no middle ground there. And I realize I'm kind of saying the same thing there because there's very little difference. You never actually see, hey, this is the protest group, but they've had some success getting their point across. It's usually there's two sides, or here's the group in power, and here's the people they're ignoring and not listening to in any way, shape, or form. Having described them as a protest group that actually got victories in a fantasy setting in the beginning before the player characters did anything to make them win, that's actually unique enough that I'm very surprised. Good, just a good detail there. Wow.
Talk that they were pulling in a bunch of big name Babrashkins for this big show.
Babrashka.
Big show.
Oh, they do it all the time. I think
Show?
it was 2 years ago. Morkainen struck a lightning rod.
Wait,
with lightning
Mordekainen?
and kept the
Is it that
Pacific
Mordekainen,
Islands
or it's just Morkainen? Very similar name, but not the same
That
person.
thing.
Oh, like 3 people died.
Oh.
It was a bit of a overcharge.
Oh,
Maybe a little bit of a bad thing.
And this
Details.
is why we have laws.
That's the sort of thing they do. No, they come in, they try and swing their dicks around, prove that magic beats science, and then fucking break some shit.
Well, you know what? That's why I have this, and I'm gonna reach up to grab my
No.
halberd and just plank it down. On the
oh God, who's he gonna kill by
floor.
accident?
Yeah? This is the good old mage castrator.
I'm sorry. Please. Please tell me this isn't a joke. That in the next scene, they're going to show on the handle in fancy gold filigree, it's going to say Mage Castrator. I just want that. I just want that. It's a little thing I want. But I want that. Also, having seen the animation here and listened to him make this, hey, I got this thing right here, put it on the ground, and having mentioned earlier that he's afraid that if there's a bump, he'll kill someone. If I was the DM right now, and it's a good thing I'm not, I would be, okay, roll dexterity. There's a bump, and it's very hard. If you roll it really bad, there were a lot of bumps. Roll with disadvantage. I'm kind of a monster, though, so I'm not a good example, but I kind of hope that happens.
Right there. Super sharp. It's got the new polish on the blade. We have this nice leather wrap. So nice. It's great. It cost me way too much money.
Come on,
But it's
drop it.
fine, 'cause this
Drop
is
it
a
on
total
someone.
justice.
Do it.
He sort of looks it up and down, and then says, "Well, no, that's a McLeod maker mark. This is mass-produced garbage."
What?
Yeah, McLeod. It was made in a factory. There wasn't even a smith involved in that.
But I bought it at the train station. This really nice dude was just like, oh yeah.
Oh my god, he literally got swindled for a halberd at the train station. I love this. And again, 1920s. He literally got the halberd of snake oil.
That's great. I made it
This is
myself.
awesome.
It's a dwarf. I mean, they make stuff all the time, right?
Yeah, not in transit.
Oh.
Mostly transit's full of con artists.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did they actually just put a pin up to make him look like a dwarf? They did. They even have the tied-on beard and the hay to make him look more dwarfy. And he's sitting on his knees. Okay. As far as con artists go, pretending to be a dwarf just to sell things easier to people who's like, oh, it's a dwarf. They can make things. I just love this insight as an actual utility option. This is awesome. I love this already. Yep.
This is what happens when you rely too much on the weapons and stuff.
Look.
You need to use your good old punches. Those always work.
Yes, fist the enemy.
Laws
Wait,
provide
no.
you with a weapon.
Rephrase that.
Technically I'm not supposed to have weapons. Long story short, a thing happened where some stuff might have blown up and
What?
got displaced. It may be nobody's fault at all, really. I mean, who can tell whose fault it is?
Oh,
really?
he's horrible.
It's not mine. I can
It's
tell you
definitely
that
his.
much.
I love the animation they give him for the
Anyway,
face.
gotta go follow them,
Just
see 'em.
opening and closing
I'm gonna
the
just get
grate
up
for the
with my
mask is
hours,
awesome.
Book it down the end of the
Because I'm pretty sure he's a
Alright.
warforged, right?
I'm going to sleep.
I mean, can we just go one day without getting in a fight with somebody?
Nope. This is D&D,
Go
dude.
for-
Alrighty. So Squigum sort of reclines back in the newly abandoned seat.
God, he's doing it too.
Kind of tips his hat down over his face to get ready for what is actually going to be quite a long trip.
Oh.
You guys know that it's going to take at least 2 or 3 days.
Oh,
All right,
do we have beds on this train?
No.
I do now.
First class has sleeper cars.
No, 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 nope, no, no DM spiders. We do not go there. That is a very big spider. No, just solid nope on this one. On the one hand, I want to give credit for the honestly cool interaction to insert the DM as a character in all these crazy little disturbing forms and always integrate him in new ways. On the other hand, you had to do a giant spider. I mean, it's not a giant spider, it's just a, oh god, no, that is way too big spider. Yep. Also, has someone who has done a 24-hour trip on a train in less than comfortable seating before? Oh no. Oh no, you poor fools. You don't know what you're in for. Oh god.
But
It is not worth
Coach
it.
does not.
Pray there's a fight in there to knock you out.
There's a little bit of padding. But,
Oh,
you know,
so it's like
you
a
paid like 4 silver for these tickets, so
so it's like a bus seat then.
essentially, yeah.
A nice bus or a
So
normal
you
bus?
two make your way out.
And they
to,
just killed the
sort of
spider DM.
Where this gent was.
Is that just
stop
a
by
random
and
gray
quick
alien?
ask her,
Yeah, it's just a random gray alien.
You know, did you see a fucking wild-looking mage pass through here? You know, they're all like, yeah, of course, he's a prick. Like, he mouthed off at so many people.
Even the women and the children.
Yeah, everyone, even the animals. He insulted a cat directly for like no reason.
What?
Where's this cat?
It's off on one of the tables.
Oh my god,
and
it's a
it
sad
just-
kitty.
You've never seen a cat look so depressed. It's just like hanging halfway up there, And not asleep, just defeated.
I'm gonna go over.
Truly, the master of vicious mockery. You have defeated the cat. And if you go by the Puffin Forest stats, that is quite the accomplishment.
And I'm gonna put both my hands, one on each side of his head.
Don't kill a cat.
It's okay. He can't hurt you anymore.
I will avenge the cat.
Do I have to roll animal handling?
Oh my god.
Sure.
Technically accurate.
Modifiers to this.
-1.
But that's a good old 6.
Yeah, your like rough,
No.
gauntleted fingers kind of like stroke through its fur. It
It's
doesn't
only
really
slightly
seem
dead.
to care whatsoever. You almost feel from it as though it had wished that your hand was the icy grip of death instead.
Oh god!
I'm taking this cat. First of all.
And thus we have introduced the other trope of every D&D party. Pets. That were in no way, shape, or form meant to be there. But because the DM made a random ad-lib, he now has to remember it forever. Oh, I love this. The depressed
Turn around
cat.
And ask, who here owns this cat?
There's just a consensus of like, no, this is nobody's cat. You can have it.
Oh, okay,
Was it?
Cool.
Is it just a
Okay,
shapeshifter traveling around as well?
Pick it up and place it into my bag.
It literally like dangles and provides no resistance as you just.
My
pull it in the bag.
god.
That's
They have stolen the depressed
One
cat.
sad cat, 3 pounds to your inventory.
sad.
And they just bring us the sheet. Why?
Please don't forget that cat's there, because that'll turn to dead cat very quickly.
No, the
Oh,
bag is
God.
locked. He's my boy. We're tight.
Is that a bag of holding? Because they don't have air in there.
That's how the kids say it these days, right?
No.
You guys continue on your way toward the front of the train. You finally reach the cargo cabins.
Okay, one. I didn't even realize as the DM just inserting himself in the reflection here. Cool usage, because with how they've had everything flickering in most glass effects, I thought that's just what it was at first, but then you see it, it's like, oh, that makes sense. But more importantly, take a look at the walking mechanic right here.
Continue on your way toward.
For him, he's moving up and down, which is a very standard way to write people. Or I guess not write, but to show people moving in this type of animation, just a little up, a little down, a little up, a little down. Because when you walk, you don't actually stay at a level pace. You kind of have a rolling gait where you go up with each step and down with each step. And between steps, you're a little lower and you spread out the legs. So this is actually why people will show little up and down motions in a lot of standing base animations. Animations. Animations, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, but then this guy who dear God, he has to be a Warforged, just only moving his arms, but keeping at a very level pace that is incredibly steady and does not move from its very much intended position of height for the rest of the head. I just like it because it's an inherently unhuman way of moving. Just moving the arms, but nothing else moves. Just exactly what we need to maintain forward momentum and no extra action like going up and down because we don't do that. I like it. It just kind of shows that there's a difference in the character there. Is it intentional? I have no idea, but it works.
Toward the front of the train. You finally reach the cargo cabins. And roll
The
me
DM interactions are fun.
Perception, Brent only.
But
Alright. 6? Are you... God.
why are they rolling so
I haven't
badly?
hit double digits yet.
Hey man, that's how it do. So yeah, not really aware of anything on the other side of that door. You open the door to the cargo cabin
And get attacked?
and then immediately struck by this powerful metallic coppery smell.
That's not good.
Very familiar smell. That blood.
Oh.
For a moment you give pause and then you push the door forward.
Now that's interesting. Yeah, now the entire, okay, we're chasing after the mage who's definitely going to survive this entire episode. And now they have found a room filled with the scent of blood. But what I find weird is they're doing a smooth jazz medley in the background. I'm like, it's a dark night and the highlight of his memory will be to remember the time where he did something, where something happened. And it was probably dark and rainy because it was. Because that's how noir works. Yeah, it's very much a jazz noir theme and kind of surprised they're using that right here.
All the way open.
I guess jazz
to
was a
reveal
part of
the,
this, so.
corpse of that Abrasian
Oh no!
wanker.
I am
who was
shocked.
An enemy of every single person on this train.
I blame Squigums. And that was episode 3 of Total Party Wipe. And all I gotta say is, they literally decided to write out one of their party members immediately. Brave move. Kind of surprising. And they brought in another one who honestly came with a better plot hook for everyone. And I love how this entire episode is literally just setting up Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah, it's an old Agitha Christi book where everyone was involved in killing someone they all hated. And all I can say is, that ending is such a perfect call out to it. I'm actually, as someone who's just a fan of writing in general, again, English major, hearing that call out, I was like, he's in the train. He makes everyone pissed off at him. He actually alienates everyone, and party included, in such an obvious, I'm going to die, overhyped way. And then they find him dead at the very end. And the last words you hear are, and he was dead after he made an enemy of everyone. That is literally the beginning and most of the plot for Murder on the Orient, the most famous murder mystery book probably ever, and that Agatha Christie ever wrote. And I'm just sitting here going, hot damn. You're basically doing a D&D retelling of that. I'm kind of impressed, man. If you can actually make this work and have an interesting plot twist that just everyone didn't do it, honestly, you could do anything you want because it would be fun. But I'm actually really impressed. There's a lot of things here. I think overall the audio quality has jumped up a ton. Most people are on par, and so it's not really high jumps or low fall-offs. The new character seems a little dim, a little low on the volume. But overall, that's about it. And I mean, if that's the only one, the animation quality seems a lot more fluid. There seems to be a lot more scenes where people are moving. There's a lot more individualized animations. The jump in quality just between this episode and the last is kind of huge. Yeah. Also, I love how each one of the characters is a horrible human being. I'm looking at you, Thor, taking up the 2 seats. I mean, yeah, you also kind of admitted you're a mass murderer in the sense that you killed the guy you were getting the ride in. You're allowed to have weapons because something blew up, and I'm assuming a lot of other people died. We're going to ignore that. What's really horrible is that he took up 2 seats on a very crowded, multiple-day train ride. You monster. Also, I'm sure Squigums killed the guy somehow. Because at this point, it seems to always be Squigums. I don't even know if that's a joke. I really don't. So if you guys haven't already, there's a link below to the original video. Hit it up. So far, it's really damn good. And the quality of the episodes just seem to be improving. And from what I've heard, it actually gets a lot better later on. In which case, oh yeah. Basically. When I usually say link below, hit it up, I'm just asking to watch. But really, go down there, tell them they did a good job. Because this is a really good video so far. And I like where this story's going. I like how they have an interesting bit of utility here. And they're just going full in on a lot of tropes of the 20s and pulling them in for more of a D&D situation. But also working in D&D things like Mordenkainen. Unless it's just a similar name, but not actually the same person. I don't know. But it could be fun either way. So yeah, literally, just go hit them up. Let them know they did a really good job. Because they did. And it's pretty awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.